My name's Ned. This is my dog Jai. And today we're going to be talking about why all my Power BI reports look the same. And I'll tell you up front, it's because it makes them better for the end user. Now, when I say that they all look the same, I don't mean that they all have the same visuals or all have exactly the same design. What I mean is that I have three core elements that I put in the same place in every single report. And today I'm going to be walking you through those three elements from the most basic all the way up to the most controversial. So if you want to know why all my reports look the same, stay tuned. And also why I make them all look the same too. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, so the first thing that I do is I use a consistent background, which is typically a light gray with then white boxes, and I put the report's name in all caps, a little page marker here or a little divider. I can never quite remember what these are called. And then I put the page name of the report. So in this case, this is the first page. So this would be page 1 and my report name would be report demo. Now, why do I do this? Well, it's all about consistent style. And because every single page has both the report name and the page name on it, if someone takes a screenshot to send it to me and say, hey, this report's broken, I know exactly what kind of report or which report that they're looking at. The second item that I put on is perhaps a little bit more unusual. Then after that, we'll be covering probably the most controversial thing that I put on all my reports. So make sure to stay tuned. But before we get there, here's the second thing that I have on all of my reports, a big, obvious help button that brings the user to a page where they can find definitions, instructions on how to reset the visuals in the report, refresh the report, as well as instructions on how to reach out to me for support. I know there's a bunch of different ways to do this. I know there's a help tooltip. The best way that I've found is just making a real obvious button up in the left-hand corner of the screen. And with that, are you ready for my most controversial item? Well, let's take a look. I put the same slicers up in the top hand corner across all the reports. And they're always slicers that are relevant to any report. So in this case, this is a report for a fake apparel company. So I would put the date of a unit sold and then the product family. And in my apparel company, all the reports have the same two slicers. And then finally, I put a little text box saying expand filters for more options to filter the report. And I don't put any other slicers on the report at all unless they are specific to a visual, in which case they are basically on top of the visual so they look like one. Why do I do this? Well, people just have a tendency to use way too many slicers and it clutters the report and you end up losing space for what's actually important, the data and the visuals in the report. And the reality of the filter pane is that it works great, but most non technical end users don't even know it's there. So I put a big screaming text box saying, hey, go click me, go expand this filter pane. Now, don't get me wrong, I've built my own beautiful slicer panels. In fact, one of the most viewed channels on this or most viewed videos on this channel is on how to build out a beautiful slicer panel, which I'll link down below in the video description if you're not buying this. But like in day-to-day life and real world BI, the filter pane, in my opinion, is the way to go. It's the least maintenance and the report just runs better, frankly. So what are the things that you put on every single Power BI report that you build? Let me know down in the comments. I have one that I don't typically put on most of my reports, but I think is pretty common, and that's the last refresh time. But I'd love to hear from you. So if you're interested in business intelligence, in particular Power BI, Microsoft Fabric, please consider subscribing. And if you enjoyed this video, give it a like. Thanks for watching.